John.
Finally, the last speech and the second to last day of the quarter. Tomorrow, graduation is finally here, and without this class and what I've learned, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I've learned an infinite amount of knowledge in this class, some important for my academic future, and some important for just who I am. Today I'm not going to speak to you just about my portfolio. I'm going to speak to you about how this class has changed me, how you all enriched my lives, and of course my portfolio. How this class has changed me. The class has made it more easy to speak to a group, but made it more of a pleasure as well. I can now feel comfortable going to a complete stranger, no matter who it is, and talk to them. I've made it a personal point to meet somebody new every day, everywhere I go. That way, nobody's strangers, everybody's friends. And it's a great skill that I would have never acquired without the help of this class, and as well as all of you. Every single speech has improved just a little bit, and I have improved at least a little bit from every speech in my life. My first speech was a significant individual, and I did that about my mom, and it was a pretty okay speech, I thought, for my first one. I wasn't too confident yet. I didn't know how to put together a speech as good as I should have, but I think I pulled it through. The second one was my demonstration speech, obviously, and I did digital photography. Now, I didn't prepare for any of my speeches as good as I should have. I was pretty much a procrastinator, and I prepared the night before, but I always work better under pressure. The demonstration speech doing digital photography, I thought I did a pretty good breakdown. It was the one speech that I actually put the lectern away, and I had the whole table just for my speech. Showed you how to put together a camera, how to take a picture, all that kind of thing. Then my past speech was okay. I had a lot of misinformation, but I had a lot of good facts as well. And it was something really important to me because it was about World War II and three of the World War II leaders. So it was something that I knew about and something that I enjoyed, so I figured it was probably an okay speech. Then the why you should hire me. That was one that I was probably the second to most passionate about because, as all of you know, I want to get into law enforcement, and it's something I've wanted to do my whole life. So I had a lot of information, a lot of facts, and a lot of stuff to back it up. So I thought it was pretty good. And then live community speeches for number 5, I hadn't done any of them yet. And that one I think was my best speech so far. It was pretty heartfelt. It was right in the same week that my grandfather died and my cousin died in the same week. So I was talking about life and why it was important to me, as I'm sure all of you remember. But I think personally that's the speech that I watched, and I thought it was the best speech that I've done so far, because I didn't really read a whole lot from text, and I was pretty comfortable up here. And then my 6th speech, the paired speech, not for me, but the paired speech. I knew for some reason that I was going to be the only one that wouldn't have a partner to speak, and Kayla was nice enough to come and give me bunny ears and have a picture for it, so at least I had something. But as far as every single one of you, you made me a little bit smarter and opened my mind a little bit, because every single one of you has a different experience, has different knowledge, and I try to put all of that together into my speeches because I see all of you do so well, and I figure, hey, if I'm going to look okay, I might as well take something from you guys. You're all great speakers in one way or another, no matter how nervous you are. Jen's smiling because she knows she's always nervous, but you're a good speaker. Every single one of you are. So I figured, I can learn a lot from you. And then I guess to my portfolio, I don't have any colors or a whole lot of pictures or anything like that. 1, because I'm lazy. 2, because I didn't have color ink, but we'll call it lazy anyway. And I'm not going to use this because, oops, I broke it anyway, but it looks like it's going to fly away, and I don't want my portfolio going anywhere. I need the grade. Alright, for my portfolio, I'm going to share with you some humor. And while it might not be funny to everybody else, it's funny to me. I have a best friend who is like a brother to me, and he has a son. So his son is naturally my nephew. So what I put here, and then I have a picture on my phone, which most of you probably won't be able to see too well. I have a BlackBerry Storm, so it's taking forever, naturally. Okay, if you can't see it, this is him. He's 18 months old.
It's very good from here.
Yeah, he's a little Hellraiser. Alright, anyway, I was with my best friend and his son, which is more like a nephew, and we were all eating. My nephew, mind you, is 18 months old. He's eating French fries and feeding them to me and his dad. He started to give one to his dad, and his dad refused it, so I stole it out of his hand and I laughed. He's a kid of a million faces. His mom and his dad both have extremely stern looks and happy looks, and you can tell them from everything else. And somehow, as I was stealing the fry, he managed to muster up the most disgusting, angry, and mean look known to man out of anybody in the world. And he stared at me like that for about 10 seconds and let out a little yell. And I laughed and I turned away. And as I turned back, the next thing I know, I have a whole carton of French fries with ketchup flying at my face as he's laughing hysterically. He thinks it's the funniest thing that he's ever done. And it probably is. Not funny for me, but it is now. And then I only put 2 things on there because I couldn't think of any other real good stories. My stepdad has a long bad luck streak with cooking appliances and cooking in general. For example, one time he turned a burner on the stove and nearly caught the whole kitchen on fire because he turned on the wrong burner and it happened to have a cover on it. Anyway, one day he decided he was hungry for a burrito, which was set to cook for 2.5 minutes in the microwave. Now, all of you guys know that I used to be a firefighter, so it's kind of embarrassing when I have something like this happen in my house because I know everybody. Anyway, he put on a burrito which was supposed to cook for 2.5 minutes. I was in my bedroom and I hear smoke alarms going all over the house and I'm like, oh God, this isn't my job anymore. And I leave and all of a sudden I see white smoke filling up the whole house. I went downstairs to see my mom yelling at my stepdad and a flaming burrito next to the microwave, which he put on for 25 minutes and forgot about. So there's a black flaming burrito and white smoke filling up the house. No fire trucks showed up, so I guess it wasn't that bad. Let's see, what else do I have here? I have my thoughts for the week somewhere, and that's what I wanted to tell you about. My thoughts for the week. My first thought of the week is that there's an overwhelming amount of information that we have to learn from past students and that we have to do by teacher instruction. I also think this class will help me be more outgoing and confident in my speaking in general and actual public speaking. The second week we did our first speech and it was a little nerve-wracking but pretty eye-opening. So it was sort of cool to stand up and speak in front of all my classmates and people who I still didn't know at that time. And then week 3 I really started to break out of my shell a little bit. I started to talk to you more and I started to be more comfortable speaking. Week 4 I feel like I'm getting a little more confident in speaking. I'm always a little bit nervous on my way to class, but when I get up to the podium I feel okay. And every speech before this one and the other one and speech number 6, I was shaky and I felt nervous and stuff. Today I don't feel shaky. Today I feel like, I can just sit up here and talk to you. Probably because I know all of you guys, but still. Week 5 I gave my speech about the past speeches this week, and there are 2 people I admire greatly on subjects that are very close to me, so it made it much easier to talk. And actually my thoughts are kind of boring me right now, so I'm not going to make you listen to them. So my ideas. I think nuclear proliferation should be for use in weapons and should be illegal in general unless it's for energy. There should be water-powered cars, and don't even attempt to ask me how it'll work. I'm not a scientist. I just don't like to pay for gas. And as far as the class is concerned, I think the marble dropping should go bye-bye. I realize that it's meant to help people, but it always makes me lose my bearings. And I don't understand how people cash their paychecks every week and don't put like 10% in my bank account. I think it's a good idea that should happen. And it should go to the John is Poor Fund. Someone should make space travel available to the public and not for millions of dollars, because imagine how many dreams that would fulfill. And the class should be geared more towards how to write a speech and give it rather than to prepare for it, which I wrote that a long time ago, but now I see that it's not always necessary to just write things word for word and all that. It's pretty easy to come up here and just talk when you have a good topic. And as I leave today, I will not only leave smarter, but a better person. I am now proud to say that I'm a public speaker and that I will continue speaking and letting my knowledge grow every chance that I get. This class has been great, and I can't explain how glad I am to be done and graduating. I have showed you how this class has changed me, how you guys have made me a little bit smarter, and my portfolio